We're back, and my next guest has spent years helping many people with different conditions ranging from heart disease, cancer to GI issues to get back on track with their health. Nutrition expert Erica Ringwald is here now to talk with us about how to evaluate your nutritional lifestyle. Welcome, Erica.
Thank you.
So you've done so much in terms of working with all different kinds of challenges that we just talked about. Now, you do something that I find interesting. It's this nutritional evaluation. What's involved in a nutritional evaluation?
Well, I mean, most people know that they try to think about, I have high cholesterol, I have diabetes, but they don't think to their behaviors. So I try to help people realize what their patterns are, what their habits are, what is really their downfall to really starting to try to eat better. So I try to help them evaluate their lifestyle to help them even begin to start making a change.
So what happens if somebody needs to make a change? They come to you, but they don't know how to follow that or keep consistent with that. What goes on?
Well, we set up a plan. We go through a whole process, a whole interview, discussion, and then we focus on goal number one. You know, we have long-term goal,
right,
but goal number one is possibly just eating breakfast. So we go and we come up with breakfast ideas so that can become successful for that person. And if they have a hard time, we follow up. I follow up with people within a week or two. So, you know, it's not too long that they go on their own.
Right, so if it was a month, they totally off course, right?
Totally, yeah.
Right. So when what's interesting is this nutritional evaluation. You take a look at what they're doing in terms of their life. How do you make that fit, that match between healthy nutrition and what's going on in their life?
Well, yeah, I really try to listen to what their timing is. I ask everything from when do you first wake up, when do you first eat a meal, when do you get to work, when do you have to be home, if there are kids involved, are you rushing them out? And we move back and try to figure out when could you prepare some stuff, and when is it okay to do a quicker meal? How will you pick something that's healthier at that point? And I try to let them know you don't have to be quote unquote perfect every step of the way. You have a meal that you have to do a quick takeout, it's okay. We can get right back on track.
So I think that's important because a lot of people, once they're off track, they continue to stay off track, and then it's like no return.
Right. It's that psychology. Well, I've already done bad. I might as well continue to do bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the most challenging aspect when people come to you? What keeps them not being able to stick to a healthier diet or lifestyle?
I think if I were very strict with them from the start, that would not fly at all.
But it's not you, it's really on them.
It's really on them, it is.
Right, so what prevents them from doing that?
That's the question I actually ask them. I say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to accomplish your goals? They'll say 8. And I say, well, what's stopping you from getting to 10? And they'll say, well, I really love food, or I'm afraid of my timing. So I listen to that, and I try to then help them realize that that little segment there is the thing that we're really going to focus on.
So when you work with athletes, because you work with sports nutrition too, what seems to be the number one challenge there?
Oh, they're already eating very well.
They have to, right?
Yeah, they know a lot, but they might not know all the correct info. So the challenge there might be convincing that maybe they're doing something a little off, or just within their training regimen. Some people train twice a day, and finding the time to really eat properly for nourishment and energy. That's tough for them.
So what's a healthy nutritional tip that you can give us?
Healthy nutritional tip. My number one, always eat breakfast. It sounds so cliche, it is the number one. A good breakfast, I'm not talking Pop-Tarts.
What's a good breakfast?
A good breakfast would be, you have a nice complex carb, like I prefer whole grains like oatmeal. It could be a whole wheat bagel, but little.
Right.
And protein, so like an egg would be a great breakfast, or even just oatmeal, but making sure you eat enough.
You know, it's interesting, Erica, because most people, I won't say most, but a lot of people skip breakfast and they think, okay, that's the way to start my diet or the way to be healthy later on. And what happens if they do that?
Well, when you put demands on your body to start your day, and you don't eat breakfast, your body's going to slow itself down to try to keep up with you. It has to slow itself down to preserve because you're not giving it energy.
Right.
So then you don't eat breakfast, and then overall you're going to start eating more throughout the day, and you'll probably eat more at night. And there's a little saying I say is, if you're going to diet, do it at night.
What's the rule in terms of eating late at night or whatever? What's a cutoff point for stopping food, right? Because that's when most people really like to snack, watching TV or zoning out or at the computer.
That's really the thing is, if you're eating because you're watching TV and that's your habit, I say don't do that. If you're honestly hungry, then eat a little something. I'm okay, especially if it's like something small, little protein-based food that helps your blood sugars overnight as well.
But don't go to the cookie jar.
No, and that's all the stuff people want to go for,
Right,
chips and cookies and stuff like that. But a cutoff, I have a hard time, but I would just say, if after dinner you've eaten well enough all day long, you really shouldn't have to head to the snacks.
And like you said, if you need to, then have something protein, but don't do all those unhealthy carbs and sugars. That's just going to upset your whole system, right?
Do something quote unquote that you think would be healthy would probably be the option you should pick.
Great. Thanks so much, Erica.
Thank you.
Power Your Life. We'll be right back. Ahead, find out what's hot for next week. Thank you. What does it take to shift gears and to change an old, worn-out habit that doesn't work for you anymore, if it ever did? First, believe that you can really make that change, and then decide to do it. Is that too simple? Well, that's just for starters. You have to add will and resolve so that you don't give in to your mind chatter that tries to exert its will on you or be defeated when the going gets tough. Choose a start date. Forge an easy plan to follow, alert the people that are close to you who will support your efforts, and then just do it. Don't moan and groan about it. Okay, you can moan and groan about it, but just a little bit. Don't overdo it. Remind yourself why you've made that choice. It's helpful if you devise a healthy distraction or a healthy substitute to replace the old habit. Stay busy, stay positive, and overall, keep your sense of humor. Thanks for being with us tonight. On our next show, she's a celebrity media coach that has worked with some of the biggest names in Hollywood. Deanna Williams joins us to talk about how those in the media and broadcasting are not only influential, but inspiring. Remember that you have the power to power your dreams and power your life. See you next week.